All right, everyone, we're going to continue our media availabilities for today. We have Ryan Blaney, driver of the number 12 Ford for Team Penske. If you have a question for Ryan, please raise your hand and we will get a mic to you. We will start with Zach.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Ryan, this place has been a good spot for you for a long time. I know you've always enjoyed coming up here as well. What is it that you look for in the balance here? Because with the three different turns, you can't be perfect in each of them. So what do you look for with Jonathan to get the balance right?
Yeah, it's I've always tried to pick like two corners to be good in and just kind of deal with the other one. And my mindset's always been try to prioritize 1 and 3 and just live over the tunnel. It's kind of how we were last year. Like I was great in 1 and 3 and just like I'd give up a little bit of time in the tunnel, but I would still net positive in those two corners. So, but you know, if you unload and you're fantastic in 1 in the tunnel, then you want to live through 3, which isn't my ideal spot because you want that's you know, turn 3 is the bigger passing point than the tunnel. So I just try to, you know, live with what I got in one corner and try to be really good in the other two. And I try to be good in 1 and 3, but sometimes you can't get that and you have to pick and choose. But yeah, you're never going to be great in all 3. They're just so different. So that's kind of what I look for, and that's what Jonathan and I kind of talk about playing on and see where we're at in practice and then try to choose for the race.
We'll go right over here in the middle and then go to Jordan.
Ryan, Tim Kettle, Family Motor Racing Network. I want to ask you a little bit about what you're looking at going into next week at Atlanta. The track has changed, obviously, with the reconfiguration in the last couple of years. It's a place that you've had success. Just what are your overall thoughts going into the racing next week at Atlanta in the middle of the summer?
Yeah, just seeing where the track has gotten to grip-wise. You know, that place has been unique that it changes every time we go there. Just loses a little bit of grip every time. Atlanta's honestly, it's gotten a lot better as it's aged. For sure, we're not as like tightly packed up. It spreads a lot more in the corners just because people are handling bad. So it's always that, like you have to make the decision of how much, you know, downforce do you put in it, you know, or how much do you want to take out of it for drag. But you don't really know how much the track has lost grip, so you just try to do your best guess. And with having no practice, it's like, all right, I hope we guessed right, and then you deal with it in the race and try to work around it. So, but I like it. It's gotten to be a really good race in there, and you can see cars make moves and come from the back of the field to the front. Honestly, you can do it a lot easier there than like a Daytona Talladega, just because the field spreads apart in the corners, and if your car is handling good, you can kind of shoot the middle, stuff like that, slip someone to the outside. And those type of things. So, yeah, I look forward to Saturday night. It's going to be fun. The track's still going to be really slick, and you're going to have your hands full. That's for sure. But it's turned out to a good race. And, yeah, we've had some pretty good runs there. Hopefully we can be in another spot to try to win that one.
And then if I may want to ask just one more question. I want to get your thoughts on this in-season tournament that's going to be starting up in a couple of weeks, where you drivers are going to be going kind of head-to-head in the middle of this run to the playoffs. What's your overall thoughts on that? Are you excited about it? Is this something that is an afterthought? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I don't see anything negative about it. I mean, at all. I can't say I was too hyper-focused on it at Michigan. And then even Mexico City, I wasn't crazy hyper-focused on, like, the seating. But then I saw a chart of, like, the seating as of right now after Mexico City, and I was like, oh, man, I need to get my seating up. But Atlanta being the first race, it doesn't really make a huge difference, I don't think. I think you're going to see a lot of upsets at Atlanta just because the way the track is. But I think when you get in the tournament starting next week, you're definitely going to be aware of who you're racing and who you're matched up against. You're not going to completely like jumble your race up just for that. But you're going to, you might have a hell of a battle for like 20th. And you're like, why are these guys racing so hard? It's like, well, it's part of the in-season tournament. These guys are racing their asses off, you know, for 20th to move on. And I think it's unique because, you know, our sport, right, it's not 1v1 like, you know, football, basketball, baseball. You know, you never really get those head-to-head matchups, 1v1. And this is a cool opportunity to have those matchups It's kind of a little race within the race type situation. So I think it'll be fun for people to track and watch. I heard that the broadcast is going to have like a dedicated team just for the in-season tournament to really keep track of it, which is good. You have to do a good job of keeping track of what is going on within the full race. So yeah, I think it's neat, and it'll be fun to watch. Like I said, I don't see one negative about it. Like, it's going to be you're just going to have more battles out there, and you can see some pretty great ones. Like I said, for maybe 20th, but it means a lot if you get 19th. So
We'll go to Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. It's commonplace for young drivers to come in this sport, kind of rile up the veterans. Maybe they're over aggressive, whatnot. You've been the exception, though, one of the exceptions throughout your career, where you kind of avoided all of this extracurricular stuff. How do you do that?
of not wrecking people all the time.
I mean, not even just wrecking people. Like, I mean, you can just moving on people out of the way, or it's comments. It can be a lot of different things.
Honestly, it's just how my dad raised me. It's just my dad taught me at a young age of just, hey, here is how, my dad taught me, and this is how I'm going to teach you, and treat others with respect. Race how they race you. So, right, there's certain situations to where it might get a little bit more aggressive if you feel like you've been done wrong, but I've just never really been the type of person to be the initial aggressor. Like, that's just not the way I do it. I just try to go about it the right way, and that is the best thing I think you can do to somebody to really show, like, your dominance on the racetrack is pass them clean. Like, it's pretty easy to just run through somebody and go on your merry way, and I feel like it sends more of a message if you can drive around them on the outside or just pass them clean and leave them, and so it's just how my dad, kind of told me the right ways to race. That was how he was raised, and that's how I was raised. So it's just kind of been who I was. It's just how I was brought up, and everyone's different. It's just, I guess I was raised that way, and that's why I'm like the way I am.
When you see young drivers involved in these extracurricular stuff like Stenhouse, Hocevar, whatever, do you just sit back and be amused by what's going on, or do you laugh at this, or do you pay no attention?
I pay attention, for sure, because I'm out there with them, right? I mean, I race with these guys every week, and I enjoy not being a part of that stuff. Like, it's nice to be on the outside looking in and just seeing what's going to happen. I'm kind of like in y'all's position. I'm out there on the racetrack, but like, you're just sitting back and seeing what happens between these two guys, no matter who it is. Like, when two guys have beef, like, you're like, I kick my feet up and see what's going to happen. And if you maybe are behind two of them running right next to each other on the racetrack, you get your guard up a little bit, seeing that something might transpire out of them racing around each other. So yeah, I think we're all kind of just in anticipation to see where it goes. And we're going to find out here as the year goes on.
We'll go to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Hey, Ryan, last week, after being in the garage for several laps, the 5-car came back out and got the fastest lap bonus point. Again, it was a situation where the 5-car went out in Darlington, and I know that affected you. So there's a couple cases where, even though it's this one car in particular that it has been done before, and it's made an impact on your race, and it's also taken a fastest lap bonus point. Is there something that could be looked at or should be looked at, or this is just good racing in the sense of you go do your job, where a car is so far behind and going out and making an impact as the 5-car has a couple times?
I mean, no team wants to DNF. Like, they're going to do the best job. If they can fix it, they're going to fix it, and they're going to finish the race. It's just even if you're just riding around, like, it's a confidence and a camaraderie thing. Like, we're going to fix this thing together, and we're going to get out there. We're not going to DNF. Even if you can't get any more spots, like, you just want to finish the race, even if you're 100 laps down. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any like bad thing about it. That stuff went on all the time before, like, the DVP stuff, right, that we had for a handful of years. So yeah, and then the fastest lap deal, like, I knew that was probably going to happen with cars, kind of wrecking, but they can fix it to where it's 100% again, and then you just try to go make mock runs and try to get fastest lap. I figured that was going to happen with some cars. That's just part of it. Because, yeah, you want to finish, but let's also do something and get an extra point while we're doing it. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's part of it. Teams don't want to DNF, so they work really, really hard to try to finish the race.
There should be a regulation on the fastest lap. You need to be 8 lap or within the 5 lap.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't really mind it.
Ryan Weaver from Five Lug Racing. Ryan, welcome back to Pocono Raceway. I'm sure there is nostalgia and special feelings you get coming through that tunnel, knowing your first win came here in 2017, but you're also the defending winner of this race. Pocono is tricky. What is it about this track that suits you as a driver?
Five Lug Racing, that's an old title. I just enjoy the racetrack. I like the challenge of like 3 completely different corners. And every racetrack's different, no matter if it's an oval, like both ends are very different everywhere we go, but this is like very, very different, all 3 ends. And so I've always enjoyed the challenge of how do you compromise around, you know, the 3 very different corners, like I talked about earlier, like how do you pick and choose where you want to kind of prioritize and be good? You know, where are you at in practice? Where do you think your corners are okay, that you have the best shot of getting them the best? So I just always like that kind of compromise aspect about this place, and your driving style is completely different from 1 to 2 to 3. So I've always liked that change up in driving style. I think it really shows like how diverse are you as a race car driver, that you can switch it up 3 times a lap from different corners. So I don't know, it's just something about this place, and then it just adds more specialness to you right when you win here, like when I won with the Wood Brothers, and it makes it like one of your favorites when you have success at a place early on and you get your first win. So but I think the biggest thing is that the challenge of it always kind of pushes me to want to figure it out.
Thank you very much. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We'll take one final question here in the middle.
I'm Chopper Motorsports today, Ryan. So obviously the NASCAR schedule the last few weeks from Michigan to Mexico City and now back up to the Northeast. Is there anything compared to just any other season or any other point in the year where you feel like you had to adapt different mentally to just keep yourself going with all the travel?
Not really. I've never really, no matter where we go, week to week, you know, how many miles are in between each races or whatever. It's never really, I've never really put second thought into it, honestly. Like, this is what you signed up for. You better be ready to go wherever you need to go and figure out how to get ready week to week. You know, whether you got to get your body back ready mentally, whatever you got to do to get back ready, recovered from the previous week and look forward to the next week. So, no, it doesn't really change up whether we go from Mexico, New Hampshire, California, North Carolina. Like, if you did all 4 of those in a month, like, it's be fine. This is what I signed up to do, and it's pretty much a privilege that you get to go do it every week. So it's enjoyable. It's definitely enjoy. And I'm messing up here. Enjoy.